In Romans chapter 1, the Apostle Paul makes it very clear that the greatest sin of humanity is to fail to worship God as he has revealed himself, and that God's wrath and judgment has already fallen upon the human race for exchanging, as he says, the glory of God as he's manifested himself already, for false ideas about him and something less than who he is. And he makes it really clear that to worship God in a way that's less than who he himself has revealed himself to be is one of the greatest sins against him. And of course, in that passage, he says that God has revealed himself in his works. He's revealed his power. He's revealed his wisdom. He's revealed his goodness in his works of creation. And he's revealed it very, very clearly. It's not obscure in any way. What obscures it is the sinfulness in our hearts that rebels against him and, as Paul says, suppresses that truth. And so the corollary of that is, of course, that when we believe the gospel and are born again, that whole process is reversed, that we actually start to see the wisdom, goodness, power, the attributes of God in his creation. We survey his works, and that leads us up to worship him. And so where, for those who aren't believers, they see his works and things stop there, they use them, they enjoy them, but their thoughts aren't lifted up to God. For us, we see his works all around us, every moment of the day, whether it's in technology or in nature or in the stars or sky or the changing seasons. Wherever we look, we see his works, and that lifts our minds and thoughts up to him, to his person. And so all God's works around us should provoke worship in us. And that's why our priesthood is a 24/7 perpetual priesthood, because we're always using or surveying God's works. Therefore, our hearts are being provoked to worship him. And that's what Isaac Watts is saying in this hymn, yet another hymn by Isaac Watts that focuses on God's being and attributes. He takes the power of God in creation, the wisdom of God in creation, and the goodness of God in creation. And then he says it's impossible to find one flower or one plant in which we don't see the glory of God, his goodness, wisdom, power shining. There's nowhere we can go where God is not in his creation. And so one of the greatest gifts of being a Christian is having open eyes and an inspired heart to see these things and to offer our worship to him. Yet another hymn by Isaac Watts on this theme. There are so many that he's written about the glory and the nature of God. And again, these hymns, singing these hymns is sort of bittersweet for me in a way, because Isaac Watts is one of those great hymn writers who's written on these themes, and he in a lot of contemporary worship gets sort of wheeled out in a hymn like When I Survey the Wondrous Cross, or maybe one or two others that are known, and it always is inspirational in worship and adds quality to and value to the worship times. But all of these other hymns are lost or neglected. And part of the Adullam's Cave Music Project is to, as it were, store these hymns away in Adullam's Cave and to seek to bring them out, and perhaps by putting them to contemporary tunes, by the grace of God, someday they may become better known and more sung again. This was originally written as I sing the Almighty God, power of God, and I've changed it to I praise the Almighty power of God. I praise the almighty power of God that made the mountains rise, that seas and oceans spread abroad, and built the starry skies. I sing the wisdom that ordained the sun to rule the day, I sing the goodness of the Lord, who filled the earth with food, who formed the creatures through his word, and then pronounced them good. O Lord, your wonders are displayed and open to my eye, when I survey the ground I tread, or gaze upon the sky. There's not a plant or flower here but makes your glory known, and clouds arise and storms appear by order from your throne. All creatures visible or not are objects of your care, nowhere on this earth so remote that you aren't present there. In heaven you shine with beams of love, with wrath on hell beneath. Yours is the earth on which I move, and yours the air I breathe. All that's been given life by you is always in your care, and everywhere that we can go, you, God, are present there. Your hand is my perpetual guard, you